Good morning and welcome to Smell the Coffee on this beautiful, amazing Tuesday morning. My favorite season is officially here, so I am so happy, guys. I love winter with everything in me. Like, winter is my absolute favorite season. So now the winter fashion, it's going to come out. Nevertheless, you are watching Smell the Coffee with me, Diana Master. I'll be flying solo today, but that doesn't mean that the show is not going to be any less interesting. As usual, Smell the Coffee is the show that brings you bizarre news, celebrity and entertainment news. You know, the news that's not so heavy, but if it is in the world of celebrities, sometimes it is quite heavy. Like the stories that we're sharing today, we do have an update on the singer David, and of course a story that happened a few weeks ago, but somehow we may have missed it and it may have slipped through the cracks. If you got that part, then fine, sure, great for you. But for those of you that didn't, after the break, we are going to be talking about Bill Cosby and how he was found guilty yet again of rape. But nevertheless, like I said, still a jam-packed show for you today. As always, we'll bring you our meme of the day segment, our top stories, and then of course our guest segment. But for now, we'll take a quick ad break and come back with some memes of the day.
Namibia is a land of movement, with waves that never stop reaching forward. Here, adventure is not something we search for. It is something we are born into. In every corner of this country, creativity rises, from artists, from athletes, from dreamers. And when the world comes to explore Namibia, they discover something extraordinary. Because when sport moves people, creativity moves ideas, and tourism moves the world toward us. Something powerful happens. A platform where movement meets imagination, where industries connect, where opportunity grows, where Namibia's next chapter begins. Welcome to the Creative Sport Tourism Expo. Exhibit, partner, experience. Creative Sport Tourism.
So what do we have in our meme of the day segment today? Well, let's take a look.
If I make plans with you and I catch you wearing this dress and these shoes, you staying at home. Our plans are cancelled, you staying at home. Ladies in disappointment, she says that we're not going out and you matching with the whole of the mall. Please, because you guaranteed 5 of y'all are going to be wearing that same dress and those bad shoes, those baddies. Keep it at home. You can bring it out next year, July. But as for now, cut. Thanks.
I've noticed one thing. The minute somebody starts selling something, everyone is selling it. Especially when you do with the order with me, girlies. All of them have the same dresses. All of them have the same things. So chances are there's going to be 17 of you wearing that same dress. And what pisses me off about this dress is it's actually a really nice dress. So would I buy it? Of course I would buy it. I just won't wear it now. I'll probably buy it and wear it like years later because it is such a nice dress. But the problem is you see one person wearing it and then now you're thinking to yourself, I should also wear it. And the thing I always say about fashion is just because it looks nice on Kaya doesn't mean it's going to look nice on you. You need to dress for your body type. Dress for your body type. Just because you've seen someone wearing it and that person looks good doesn't mean it's going to look good on you. So even before you try on clothes, even before you buy clothes, go try them on in the store. Send pictures to your other friends if you have to and ask, Chomis, how does this sit on me? And then we'll tell you, hey, Chomi, with your bum, no, that one is not working. It's making your bum look flat. It's making you look like you've had a long day, okay? So don't, at least, guys, don't just buy things for the sake of buying them. And especially this thing of buying things online. Sometimes you forget to order the body that comes with it. And then now you're thinking, oh, these Order With Me girlies sold me something that wasn't. No, chummy, you just didn't order the body that comes with the dress. But nevertheless, let's take a look at our next meme.
I'm not ignoring you. I thought I replied you. I genuinely thought I replied you. I'm sorry. In my head, I replied you. I didn't know I didn't reply you. Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to leave you on red for so long. I'm really not ignoring you, I promise. I really thought I replied you. I just forgot.
It do be like that sometimes. Have you ever responded to a message mentally? And then later on, someone is like, so Dana, you're really not going to respond? It's like, you know what happened. I responded in my head. I used to think this was an excuse until I became that person, because really and truly, guys, it does happen like that sometimes. That in your mind, you're like, okay, I've responded. Like you open the message and then you think, or something happens, someone texts you, or like you get something happens to distract you. So now in your mind, you've already responded. And then by the time you think of actually responding, too much time has passed. But one thing about me, I will shamelessly respond to you 4 days later. I'm fine, thanks, and you? Yeah. That's me. I'm that person. My sister's also that person. You'll send her a funny video and then she'll respond 4 days later. Ha ha ha, that's so funny. Now you're thinking to yourself, what's funny? What did I say? Now you must go back to the messages, open the link again. No, sometimes just don't respond. But anyway, we will now take a quick ad break. And when we come back, we give you an update on singer David and of course the Bill Cosby story. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Do you like traveling?
Do you like to experience new places?
Well, then you should tune into On the Rock, where we explore enjoy establishments all over Namibia and South Africa. Great food, great fun, and so much more. So be sure to mark your calendar as we explore the beautiful landscapes of Namibia at the various enjoy establishments.
And where we also get to go on game drives, different activities, and meet the awesome staff of the different establishments.
We will see you there.
Watch On the Rocks every Monday at 9 p.m. on DSTV channel 285 and GoTV channel 25.
Starting off our top stories, U.S. singer David pleads not guilty to murder in death of missing teen girl. Now, U.S. musician David has pleaded not guilty to the charges of first-degree murder in the death of a teenage girl who vanished last year. The star, whose legal name is David Anthony Burke, is accused of murdering 14-year-old Celeste Rivers Hernandez, whose decomposing remains were found in September in a Tesla registered to David's Texas address. Burke, 21, also was charged with murder for financial gain and with the murder of a witness to an investigation, the Los Angeles District Attorney said. He did not speak during his arraignment on Monday. His first court appearance since his arrest last week. His lawyers entered his plea on his behalf. In a Los Angeles courtroom on Monday, the musician's defense team said it believed the actual evidence will show that David did not kill Celeste and was not the cause of her death, echoing remarks his attorneys made after his arrest last week. We will vigorously defend David's innocence, attorneys Blair Burke, Marilyn Bednarski, and Regina Peter said in a statement to the BBC. Now, after months of speculation around the case, there was a sense of tension and anticipation in the courtroom ahead of the hearing. It grew quiet when the girl's parents walked in. All eyes were then on the door Burke was meant to enter. He was barely visible to the audience in the courtroom. Burke's team asked for an open hearing after months of grand jury hearings behind closed doors. Now, the court ordered the coroner to share the report on the teen's death, which has been barred from public release in a rare move by authorities. In a statement to the BBC's US media partner CBS News, the Rivers Hernandez family said it is committed to ensuring that Celeste's voice is heard and her memory is honored throughout the process. Their attorney did not immediately respond on Monday to the BBC's request for comment on the charges. Now, during an earlier press conference on Monday, Los Angeles County District Attorney Nathan Hochman said that on the 23rd of April 2025, Rivers Hernandez went to Burke's house in the Hollywood Hills and she was never heard from again. Her dismembered and decomposed remains were found on the 8th of September 2025 when the investigation first began in the front trunk of a Tesla registered to Burke, court documents said. When authorities removed the bag, they discovered severed arms and legs inside the documents. So, yeah, I think this is the story that, obviously it is a developing story, and we will give you any more updates as we get them, especially to find out whether or not this man is actually guilty of murdering Celeste Rivers. Now getting into our next story, jury finds that Bill Cosby sexually assaulted woman in 1972 and awards her nearly $60 million. A civil jury in California found Monday that Bill Cosby was liable for drugging and sexually assaulting a woman in 1972 and awarded her $59.25 million. After a nearly 2-week trial in Santa Monica, jurors found Cosby, 88, liable for the sexual battery and assault of Donna Motzinger. They awarded her $17.5 million in past damages, $1.75 million for future damages, including mental suffering, loss of enjoyment of life, inconvenience, grief, anxiety, humiliation, and emotional distress. Then, in a second phase of the trial Monday afternoon, they awarded an additional $40 million in punitive damages. Cosby's attorney, Jennifer Bonjean, said in an email after the initial award earlier that they are disappointed and fully intend to appeal the verdict. She did not immediately respond to a request for comment on the punitive damages. Cosby's attorney, Jennifer Bonjean, said that they will basically appeal the verdict. Deliberations lasted about 2 days. The decision came nearly 5 years after Cosby was freed from prison in Pennsylvania when the state Supreme Court threw out a criminal conviction based on similar allegations. He has settled some similar lawsuits and has been ordered to pay in others, but Monday's award is likely the most he has had to pay in a case. The verdict is not just about me, it's about finally being heard and holding Mr. Cosby accountable, Motzinger said in a statement. I've carried the weight of what happened to me for more than 50 years. It never goes away. Today, a jury saw the truth and held him accountable. That means everything. I hope this gives strength to other survivors who are still waiting for their moment to be heard. And on that note, that does bring us to the end of our top story segment. After the break, we take a look at our interview with SolveX.
I'm joined in studio by a visionary artist, someone who has worn many hats and always wants to show up as authentic as possible to every project. Good morning, X. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. How are you doing, Tenora?
I'm quite excited to have you in studio. I'm quite excited to have this conversation early on in the year because you're one of the artists that I always look out for in terms of just the work that you're doing. And everything that you do is, always inspiring, and you're always pushing yourself to the next limit.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
So how has the year 2026 been? I know it's quite early, but how has it been so far as an artist?
As an artist so far, in an individual capacity, I think 2026 looks very promising. Again, I always like to say this. I feel like there's a new temperature in the art industry, in the creative industry, and myself as an artist, there's a lot that you can plan for. There's a lot that sounds exciting, that sounds like it's going to, sort of flourish. So again, like you said, it's very early on in the year, so you can't say too much. You don't want to jinx things that you have planned, but there's a positive start to it individually. But the world doesn't look very bright at the moment. So there's obviously that thing of like trying to balance reality with your optimism, So
speaking of that, and also how artists need to be a voice or the mirror to where society is, or the reflection of the times. I've seen most of your work, and it really does that. Your last play, you were, tackling quite a few heavy themes, but it was also inspired because this is, what I see in the community, and I'm just reflecting the times. How important is that for you as an artist to always, hold up the mirror to society?
I think that's the role of every artist, actually. In fact, everyone that has, even if you're not an artist as a profession, if you have a sketch pad at home, it's important for you to reflect what it is that inhibits you internally and whatever you see as going on in the world around you. Because that's how you preserve who you are, and that's how you preserve, let's say, the national identity of a country. It's by creating the art that reflects that. It's been quite a journey trying to really find my footing in expressing what, because it's very difficult to be honest as an artist, especially when you start commercializing your art. You want to meet the standard, the status quo, whatever is popular, whatever is trending. And most of the time, things that are reflective of society, people don't want to consume substance anymore. You know, we live in a world, the digital era or whatever, but we live in a world where it's so easy to consume things. You know, it's like you just scroll. It's just art even on social media. So creating art that challenges, that makes people think critically about the world around them, about themselves, it's important. And I think it's the role of every artist to some degree, even if you make abstract art, you need art that makes people think about themselves and about the world they live in, essentially.
I love that. I love that. And you did speak on trends as well, and how it's important to try to be as authentic as possible, but still, you know, be in the know of the trends that are happening. What kind of trends are you seeing right now, or trends that we might be heading into in the industry?
So, let me start with artists have become independent curators and creators now, especially with the advent and the promise of, you know, the internet era and the technologies like AI and AR and VR and all these new technologies that are driving what it means to be an artist in a completely new direction. And it's trending also, of course. I mean, we saw like with the advent of social media, it became much more easier to sort of disseminate your art globally, because you are in charge of it. You are in charge of distribution, because, you know, the internet platforms and social media platforms made that possible. So when was the internet introduced? Like early 2000s. So now in 2026, you know, it's taken a level that is
where you can be a business on your own, and you don't need all these other factors or agents and
people
record labels and whatnot. It also removes a level of, I'm not saying all record labels are bad, but or companies per se that house and manage artists are bad, but there were issues in the past where you hear stories of like artists, I sold how many millions of albums or books, what have you, but I didn't make so much money from it because of the contracts I signed.
Yeah. So there's that sense of like independence of being drawn away as an individual artist, being drawn away from institutions and being able to own your art, own your work, direct the channel in which it flows, things like that.
And also own your voice as well.
Own your voice as well.
Very important, which is, I've seen quite a few artists blow up just on social media.
Yeah.
And I don't see them like being signed on to anybody, but you can see that they have like millions of views on YouTube and they are doing their own thing, which is very nice and holistic.
They themselves become the brand, the entity, the company.
Yes.
You know, as an individual artist, you become the institution that sort of produces the work that you create as an artist.
Do you think that this new trend, especially the use of social media, is good news for Namibian artists? Because there's always been that notion that, if you're an artist in Namibia, you're just going to suffer, you're going to starve. So do you think that this is a platform for us as artists to, you know, get on and, you know, just see where it goes?
Yeah. I can answer that in two ways. One, it's not just social media, but other technologies, like you said now, the new trends that are happening, artificial intelligence and so forth. I think there's two ideas that you can have to it, like a positivist one and a negativist one. One, the Namibian industry, the creative arts industry, like I said, you know, it's only now with with the administration of the current president where we see some kind of recognition and true appreciation and acknowledgement of the importance of art and trying to, you know, distribute resources to build the industry. But then it also comes at a point where like the technology is so advanced to the point where you don't have it's in let's say in first world countries, creative industries are being threatened by our own creations, by technology. You don't need a whole set to create a film. You don't need a director, producer, writer. You just need AI. You just need AI and a producer. Because
Which is a bit sad.
You know?
Yes.
So if that same reality sort of presented onto Namibia in this, it's not in the early stages. I mean, the art industry has been around. You know,
Yeah.
we have had artists for
Yeah.
for decades since our independence. But in my experience, having conversations with people that are sort of the veterans of the art industry in Namibia, the older filmmakers, the older cultural practitioners, I always sense a bit of like a sense of not regret, like spitefulness. Like, why only now? Like, we are old, we're about to retire, and
now
only
it's just starting to pick up.
you know, it's only starting to pick up now, and you see it, it's very palpable when you enter rooms where people are having conversation on trying to formulate policies around the art creative industries. You know, the older people always seem to be a little bit more, you know, frustrated with their fact because they're about to retire. And then there's an idea that my generation, Gen Z, doesn't really understand the importance of art to a society, because again, everything is so cheap and so easy to make, and you can create a Mona Lisa with a prompt, you know, like the process of
writing, even academically, you can see that the time it used to take to study for something and what have you, you know, I have to read a whole textbook. Now I can just put a prompt, please summarize, I'm doing a test and this is what we're going to focus. Summarize the most important things that I need to know about this, and that's it. And then I go and write the test and I pass, but I have not sat down and you know, consumed a work of somebody, a body of work. Do you get it? It's just snippets of it. And yeah, I hear what you're saying. So the world is moving to that. Speaking of AI and the creative industry, we're seeing more and more writers, musicians, what have you, are using AIs. And there is a positive to it. I've listened to some music or musicians who've used AI.
Oh, okay. I thought you said I thought you were going to say AI artists.
Yeah, not AI artists. They would let's say I don't have a producer, so AI does my producing for me, and I can see how it helps, especially when you're starting out and you don't have the money to pay for a producer, what have you. So there's this guy that I'm following on social media. He used AI to create his beats, but the vocals is his, which I have to say I respect him for that, and I love that that's the direction he's going for, because it's quite expensive, especially if you're starting out. But at the same time, it takes away from the human touch.
Yeah, that's the point. That's the point of it all. AI can do incredible things. It can make work so much more effective, so much more efficient, so much more convenient and easier to do in any industry. You know, especially in the arts. But then it takes away from that human touch.
Yeah.
And so, let's say I'm a bit of a negativist. Maybe I've watched too much
Black Mirror,
futuristic sci-fi films about AI taking over the world or whatever. The first thing as an artist that I would fear is that instead of thinking about robotics, we won't be able to do anything. You have an AI that's cleaning your room, your house. You have AI that drives, or you take a robot or whatever, electric car, whatever, that drives your kids to school. You don't have to go anywhere and do anything, because you have created these technologies that can do everything for us, and then humans basically just become people that eat and sleep, consume. The perfect utopia of AI and technology. But what would that mean for art? That means nothing that we consume is created by the hands of a human. You watch a movie, a film, it's generated. You see a painting, it's generated. You listen to music, it's generated. It's written, it's produced, everything, all the elements that goes into making music. So I do respect people that are trying to move with the time, artists that are trying to move with the times, like the person you mentioned that would make a beat with AI but still put their own vocals. But at one point, someone else is going to realize, no, it's easier to just also let AI generate my voice. Let me record my voice. And then at one point, we don't have any original art or anymore. Human art with human touch to it. And I like to quote, it's a German philosopher, I don't know if you know him, but Friedrich Nietzsche. I know you like philosophy.
I know him. Of course I'll know him. And
he had this idea that in order for humans, the point of being alive on this earth as a human being is to sort of struggle. And if you're going to project that into your art, AI doesn't have struggle. You know, it just analyzes.
There's no human soul to it.
Exactly.
A human touch brings the endurance, the suffering, the joy, what have you, and that's what make it so unique and palpable to everybody else. So I definitely agree with that. Now, X, we really, you know, got carried away, and you and I will always, you know, have long conversations. But it was so nice to have you in studio to divulge some of this thoughts, and just also open our minds to just like, okay, this might be cool, but what does it mean in the long term for society and for us as artists as well? So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me. My name is Solve X, and yeah, this is a very beautiful conversation.
Thank you so much. All right, with that, we've come to the end of the broadcast. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow, same time, same place.